Coming at you from the OLR podcast studio.
It's really more of a basement.
Coming to you from the OLR basement studio.
But it's still a podcast.
Coming to you from the podcast basement studio.
Yeah, but you still need to say OLR.
Coming to you from the OLR podcast basement studio.
Oh, that's way too many words.
Coming at you.
That's not enough. You still need to say OLR.
Let's just start. It's OLR.
And welcome to tonight's episode of the One Lane Road Podcast. It's a little different episode than what we usually have. We hadn't had a guest in a long while, so
But we're back with a guest tonight on a Wednesday night.
It's Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Thursday night.
Either way,
Yeah.
still they don't know. They don't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows
Hey,
what day
this
it's
is
released
Wednesday.
on, so nobody
Yeah.
There are different schedule conflicts we've had and everything, so we're working it in tonight. We appreciate a big name, Ward Davis.
Ward Davis.
Coming
Musician.
off, just as hot as he's ever been, coming off a 2020 release of Black Cats and Crows. It was voted SavingCountryMusic.com's album of the year. So appreciate Ward stopping in or calling in tonight to give us a good about 40 minutes worth of interview time sitting in his house in Jackson County. So it's just crazy to me. Like
It's weird that big names like live in little places like this. I mean, they got to live somewhere. You know,
might as well be
in Jackson County,
in
but
a nice, beautiful place like this with no people. And
it's like Hank Williams Jr. living in Paris, Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to live somewhere.
you're right.
Yeah,
It's just people who
Ward Davis got to live somewhere.
people who are listening to for Ward who never have heard of us. We're Dustin Kennedy and Lucas Hickman. We're down here in Clay County, which is Hermitage Springs, Tennessee, and Ward's about 30 minutes from us, about 15 minutes from my house. We got our little studio here, and Ward actually we gloss over, unfortunately, in a terrible story to start the podcast, but Ward played the little Patty's Place bar that's near and dear to my heart. Maybe not as Lucas as much, but I've put some rowdy Saturday nights over there throughout the years. I don't know if you have as much.
I've been there before.
You've been there.
Yeah.
You went through the drive-thru, right?
Yeah.
Got a pickle bologna sandwich and left.
No, I didn't have a pizza. I got a pizza.
Yeah, that's another joint had the bologna, right?
Yeah, a little different place, but
So
I know what it looks like on the inside, but that's about it.
yeah, Ward played there several years ago, and as we talk about,
That's pretty wild, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Looking back at it,
Yeah, we kind of glossed over that, but for our core group, that's probably pretty big.
it is a big deal, and I don't know how big of a deal it was at the time. I don't know where he was at in his career.
Right.
I don't know if it was hardly as long back as he.
Thanks. 15 years ago is what he said, I think, wasn't it?
And there was a damn good chance I was there.
I would say even 15 years ago. It would,
Yeah, I would have been there probably.
well, no, you'd been 18 then, wouldn't you? Maybe not.
Hell no, it would have been.
Oh, hell, you'd been 22 then. Yeah, you very well could have been there.
Jeez, I'll take 18. But,
Yeah.
So no, it's just really cool. Like I mentioned to him in the podcast, it's just I hadn't seen Ward out anywhere or whatever. Like he mentions, he didn't do that essentially when he first moved here. But yeah, it was just really cool. Everybody says, "Man, Ward Davis is around this area. How come you hadn't interviewed Ward yet?" And I'm like, "Dude, I hadn't." I think that's bullshit. I don't think Ward Davis lives in Jackson County.
I really don't believe you. Here's the thing. I don't believe he lives here.
Yeah, that's why.
I think there's somebody you might think looks like Ward Davis.
So long story short, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of 6'4" bearded men just walking around.
It's getting to be kind of a look. So
it's
maybe
a thing,
that's yeah.
So like long story short, I was just sitting in Gainesboro one night and walked in some friends, mutual friends. Fuck, just happened.
It started playing over the top of the where I had it moved out. Well, it don't matter. It didn't record on top of it, I don't think. But go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know what just happened. So we, but no, we had some mutual friends, and I told my wife we were sitting there eating. I was like, "Well, there's Ward," and I wasn't going to bother him. Then we kind of got called back to the table, and then kind of since then I've been bugging him when I see him,
Right.
About doing a podcast. I said, "Man, I know everybody's got podcasts and everything, but we'd love to have you jump on, and eventually like to." Love to have an opportunity to host a show, and but yeah, we don't want to. We'll jump right into it. Here's our interview with Ward Davis. All right, joining the show tonight, we have Ward Davis from his home in Jackson County. How are you tonight, Ward?
Man, good. Out here on the porch.
I always hate to give those introductions like we didn't just talk,
Yeah.
for 2 minutes before that.
Yeah. No, I'm sitting out here. I built a fire earlier. I'm still watching the wind keep it lit.
Yeah. It'll be rained out here in just a few seconds based on what's happening outside.
I walked in. I never watched the weather much because I don't watch the news, and I know you don't have to do one or the other. But I just walked in, and it started like my truck door slammed. And I asked Lucas, I said, "Are we gonna die here tonight? Like, what's going on? Did you check the weather? Is this?" I don't know what's happening. He's like, "Yeah, sometime, maybe not today. I don't know what's but." So yeah, I've been hearing about you for a while. So a lot of guys, when you hear about names, I don't know if you got people. But people's always like, man, you got to check out so-and-so. And I've got some friends who don't have the best records of doing that. But your name got bounced around along with Cody Jinks, of course, and at the same time. And it wasn't until I really saw you guys live that I just really, got into your music and started going, backwards and listening to everything, catching up. So it's probably been 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it takes a while to catch up with Cody. He's got so many records out.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, it was. I guess I'm Not the Devil was the first one that I actually, at the time, or Adobe Session. I can't remember which one I dug into, but we seen you guys. Actually, me and Lucas went to Knoxville. I mentioned this to you the first night I met you. I can't remember the name of the place, but it was you guys in Coulter Wall. So it was probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that tour. I don't remember the name of the place. It's been about 500,000 more since then.
Yeah, it's exactly. You don't remember it because you're doing it every night. I don't remember it because I drank a bottle of Jim Beam on accident on the way up there. So
yeah, it happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know you do tons of these interviews, and I don't want to just bore you to death because we're here to basically talk about the new album and promote it to people who might be living under a rock and hadn't listened to it. But, you did, like, you kind of similar to us. We're from a really small town over here in Hermitage Springs, home of Patty's Place. As you may have, you played back many, many moons ago. But
yeah, that's probably about 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. I know that. I actually was reminded about it by somebody, back a few months ago. But that's where actually our studio's at over here in Hermitage Springs.
Not at Patty's Place, but close.
Oh yeah, God! You get stabbed if that's where it
is. Yeah.
You know a random fact? There was actually a stabbing there one time because two guys were arguing who had the bigger penis.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I kind of say I almost said who won, but I'm assuming it's the guy that didn't get stabbed.
Well, that's true. Also, the guy with the smaller unit, from what everybody has said, is the one that did the stabbing because he was mad.
Yeah.
So. Well, which is the way it goes. Which the way it goes.
And really, and me and Lucas argued about this one on the podcast, where we actually agreed if you're packing what those boys were packing, both of them are the winners. So I don't know why we're stabbing people.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
Sometimes you're north of a foot, it don't matter.
And I apologize. This shit got derailed real quick. Yeah. I don't know. I apologize.
Yeah, it happened.
But anyway, so you grew up in Arkansas, moved to Nashville about 20 years ago, I guess 21 years ago, and bounced around for, 10 years? 15 years?
I moved down there 2000 and just started writing songs. And, I was going to try to get a record deal when I moved to town, but then I just kind of realized I still had a lot of songs. And so, plus nobody would give me one. So, man, I just wrote songs for years and years. Never had a big hit. A few years ago, I just decided that, man, I was just tired of, living off a publisher's draw and chasing the wild goose around Music Row, 5 days a week, waiting tables the other 5 nights a week. William Moore recorded one of my songs, and that was just kind of my signal to get out. I just got the fuck out, man. I just kind of gave up on trying to get Kenny Chesney to record my songs, and started recording some that I'd written that I felt like were special, I guess. I don't know. Met Cody Jinks about February of 2016. It was an anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less, man. We just, I hit it off, started writing songs together, started touring, and slowly but surely things just kind of changed.
Well,
here we are.
From a perspective of that, you were sitting there doing all these things for years, writing all these songs, and kind of lost. But I mean, God dang, that's got to feel like a good feeling when Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson cut your record. What was you kind of like your mindset as you were waiting to hear whether they were actually gonna cut that, or how long of a process was that?
It was, I knew on a Friday that Willie liked it. I'd heard, and I knew they were cutting on Monday and Tuesday. And, so all day Monday I was really nervous. Basically came down to whether Merle liked it, if they decided to cut it, So, got a few texts that Monday afternoon. Picked up my phone and saw him, just started crying. Cried for about a day and woke up. Went back to Nashville the next morning, kept writing songs,
Yeah, back at it, right? Back at the ground.
But as soon as I found out that it was on the record and everything was done, I just kind of, I stopped booking writing appointments downtown. I just started. I found me a booking agent, guy that I don't know, kind of working out of his house, and just hit the road, man. Started playing these shows, just here and there and everywhere.
So Merle Haggard, he passed away not too long after that. Was that the last record he cut before he passed away?
No, he cut one or two more. It was, I mean, you got to remember, like they cut it, and then it didn't really come out for probably another, 9 months to a year. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But he, by the time that record came out, he was probably halfway finished with another one. So I think it was one or two. I think maybe they put one out before he died, and then they had one recorded, and he died before it came out. So
you ended up with a little bit of a relationship with Willie after, I think I've read that or something, or you actually got to be kind of buddy.
Man, not really. I've gotten to hang out with him sometimes. I'm not gonna pretend that we're friends or anything, but I've gotten to hang out with him and be around him a handful of times, and just sit and listen to him talk and shit and have conversations. But my impression of him is he's everything you hoped he'd be. He's amazing. He's the coolest dude in the world.
Did you leave the bus smoky afterwards, or no?
Oh yeah, we smoke like every time. Like I don't think he smokes anymore, but I know. Hell, I don't know. He quit smoking because he's got breathing issues. So
right.
I'm sure he ingests it one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I guess your breakout was your album that you released, the 15 Years in a 10-Year Town. I just think that's such a clever title, and I know the little backstory on that. But where you, like you said, where you'd moved in 2000 and you were down on yourself, but when you started, you did the Old Worn Out Cowboys with Willie and Jamie and all that. Where was you at with that record as far as that, and where did that title come from?
Well, the title came from,
Well, obviously, yeah.
I moved to, Nashville, and they told me it was a 10-year town, and then 15 years later, I was still, sucking high and tit. Man, I made that record. It's really broke down. There's not a lot of production on it. We made that record on just a shoestring budget. And, when I made it, I was recording something so that I would have something to sell when I went to play in sports bars or wherever they'd let me play. I never imagined anybody would hear it.
Yeah. Where was some of the local places in Nashville that you played back in the day? Because you don't look like a guy. You don't look like a guy that was playing at Legends Corner playing Journey.
No, never did the Broadway scene. I played, we played a lot at 3rd and Lindsley. Played a lot at Douglas Corner. Exit-In, places like that. I mean, it was, for a long time, it was just kind of, just wherever you could play. But when I made the record and started touring, I don't think I played in Nashville at all until I played with Cody.
Yeah.
I was kind of done with it. It's really, really hard to get people in a room down in Nashville. So,
right.
Never thought, in February, about a year ago, we sold out Third and Lindsley. Never thought that would happen at all.
Right.
So it's just
so that led to Cody. Like I said, we're getting there, and with Cody, and I listened to your interview with Andrew Pope on the Picking It Out podcast, and of course, you told the story on there. So, but I mean, just for people who don't know, what was the relationship with Cody? Like, how'd you guys get put together on the show initially?
Oh man, I just it was the guy that produced my record. My records rather. His name is Moose Brown, and Moose is in Bob Seger's the Silver Bullet Band. And when I got the offer to open for Cody, my booking agent told me that Cody's manager used to work for Bob Seger, and so I had this kismet connection, synchronicity that went on, and I was able to get on the show, $150, and that's how I met him. We became, I'd say, almost instant friends. I think within 10 minutes we were smoking a joint together. But yeah, that was 2016 in Helotes, Texas, Forest Country Store.
So did you go on tour like right after that? He's pretty much started putting you on every show with him, or what did that look like?
Yeah, not every show. We he put me on here and there. There were a few times in there before we were really working together. Where I would get a call in the middle of the week and say, "Hey, we need an opener for Little Rock," and I'd be like, "Shit, I got to play in Kansas. Sorry, guys."
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd go to Kansas and play for 3 people.
Yeah.
But it wasn't long after that Cody called me, or I think I actually went down to his house. He was living in Denton, Texas, and I went down there to write with him. And he asked me. He said, "Hey, I'm doing a Midwest tour this winter. You wanna open for me?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" And so that was the first tour we did. And that was actually when we came and played Third and Lindsley. But that was the first real tour we did.
Maybe 2017 was that when that was?
That was end of 2016.
Okay.
I'd say, I think that's right. Yeah, end of 2016. It's when we started like really touring together. I probably did 20 shows with him before that.
One show that I seen you guys at was really, really cool show, and I know it probably had to mean a lot to you guys, or I would assume it would. It was the show with the Ryman. Probably that was 2018. What did it feel like to be on the Ryman stage up there with a wild ass crowd, the way hot as it was that night?
Oh my God! It was amazing. I mean, it's my every little boy that has a guitar dreams of doing that. I mean, it was amazing. I don't even know how to describe it. I think about it all the time. It's just one of those things that happened in my life that, I often, think about shit like that and say, man, I never did anything to get that, to enjoy that feather in my cap, but I sure as hell did. And, yeah, man, it was just, it was one of the most amazing, 2 nights of my life. I wish I could have done it every night.
Yeah, I was there the first night. So when you were playing, I think Sonny opened, and then you came up and you were playing Highwayman. Then the crowd goes crazy, and Cody and Jamie Johnson comes out. That's still like one of the most watched videos on YouTube. If anybody that every time I've brought up your name or anything, oh man, have you seen the video on YouTube where they're all singing the Highwayman? I don't.
Yeah, man, that was I was walking on stage. And Eddie Morgan was supposed to come out and do that with us that night. And he had gotten real drunk the night before and was hungover and didn't come to the show.
Yeah.
So Jamie comes noodling in, and I'm about to walk up on stage, and I said, "Hey, Jamie, you want to come sing the Highwayman with me and Cody?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll do it." So he came out, and I remember when he walked out, I felt the stage shaking beneath my feet.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
From the crowd just losing their shit, you know.
Was that the first big one? I mean, that made you feel like that? I mean, as far as from that perspective?
Yeah, the one with the most, I want to say we played at the Troubadour in Los Angeles one time before that. That was pretty amazing, man. I'm a big James Taylor fan. Actually found out James Taylor follows me on Instagram the other day, which is pretty dope. But,
that was going to be
the Troubadour was badass, but nothing really can compare to the Ryman, man. It's the most Mother Church of country music, man.
Hey, since it's fresh right now, man, since you just brought it up, we'll go ahead and cover it because I stopped in the other day in Gainesboro. I wanted to have a cold beer, and you just happened to be the place where I stopped at. And first thing I heard out of your mouth was like, "Fucking James."
Were you there? I was shit faced.
You don't remember talking? yeah. Sunday.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Oh, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I was like, you probably really thought I was an asshole when I started texting you about an interview. Then, if you remember that, so yeah.
No, I remember saying, yeah. I will tell you, dude. As soon as I found out, like everything, my mind went into a frenzy. I had to, text everybody I knew, like, "Oh shit, James Taylor follows me on Instagram."
Yeah, I popped in. I popped in, and you were right at the door on the phone with somebody, and I just, I didn't. I just walked up to the bar and got my beer and went on and sat at the stool and your friends. I don't know how I'm supposed to say names on here or not, but they're like, "Hey, Ward's freaking out right now. James Taylor just followed him on Instagram." And then Dave-O said, we'll get to Dave-O later, but Dave-O's like, "Dude, you don't believe it. It's wild. James Taylor followed him. He's freaking out. I think he's over talking to Cody like it's normal." And I was like, "It is normal, Dave-O. They're best friends. It's just Cody. It's just Cody to Ward, man." And I was going to ask you on a what's the biggest day of your life, meeting Natalie or James Taylor following you on Instagram? Because it seemed like a legitimate question on Sunday night.
Well, the answer to that is when I sang "Me and Bobby McGee" with Christopher Stolberson. That was a So then I think my daughter's being born or come after that somewhere. I don't know, but yeah.
James Taylor's top five though. I feel like.
I actually was on the phone with Cody. We were talking about his wife and I are both. We talk about James Taylor a lot together. I had to let her know. I texted him and said, "Hey, James Taylor follows me, bitches. Peace out."
Yeah. And then I think you made a Facebook post about it. You're like, just life-altering news, guys. James Taylor follows me on Instagram.
Oh, it really is, man. And you know what, dude? Like, that's something, shit, man. I look at it like this. I know it may sound stupid, man, but all these dots is connected, man. I've worked hard, all this stuff, and something that I've always wanted is for James Taylor just to know who I am.
Right.
He does. That's amazing. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool.
We Jason Eady and Courtney Patton played down here for us for our podcast, our private show down here, and she talked about James Taylor a lot. She's a huge James Taylor fan also.
Well, we had they're doing that sequestered tour thing on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they had a James Taylor night, and Courtney texted me the next day or a couple days later and said, "Holy shit, James Taylor shared your performance on his page." And I looked at it and I thought, "Oh, is that, man? He's got somebody doing that. Blah, 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 blah." And then just here a couple weeks ago, the other day, Sonny Sweeney is the one that told me. She texted me and she said, "Did you know James Taylor's following you on Instagram?" And I was like, what the fuck?
You don't do you do like what, your Facebook, but you don't really do your other social medias, do you? as much?
I mean, I do Instagram some. It's weird. They're trying to get me to do TikTok, man. I just
Oof.
I'm almost 42 years old, man.
We're too damn old for that, man.
TikTok, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You guys gonna? I mean, what are you gonna do? Start dancing to these little songs and shaking your ass and
So
to the new stuff? What are you gonna do?
Oh God, man! I got 3 daughters. Like, we had to ban that shit from the house.
Yeah.
And I'm getting on it. Like, it just feels wrong.
Yeah, that ain't no good.
It's a pure. I mean, it's like listen to the WAP like on repeat. That's the only reason I knew what the WAP was. That do you know what I'm talking about?
I hope you don't.
Oh yeah.
I hope you don't.
I kind of had it with Cardi after that.
I didn't really want to say. I'm glad you knew what it was because I didn't want to give the acronym spelled out there. But yeah, that's a woman empowerment song first and foremost. That's what we found out here doing the podcast one night as we.
It's just really.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah, man.
It's about taking back your body.
Like, we need to understand that yeah, I don't know how much I can say on this.
You can say whatever the hell you want to, really.
Well, it's like I don't know. You know what's going on.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, we ain't gotta. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I do have a TikTok. It's not about me, but
he just shakes his ass on it.
Well, I just I do the helicopter a lot on there mostly.
He's got the best. He's got the best running man you've ever seen.
Man.
The only reason I have one, man. Yeah, we can make fun of those girls, but they're making a lot of money, I guess, just being hookers. But I only have one. I done one video and I'm out. I don't log into it. I just did one of those where you make fun of your teenage child. Like you walk in the house and you act like your kid.
Yeah.
I did one of those and I'm retired from TikTok. I still have it, but
I'm waiting for mine to be teenagers. Right now they think I'm stupid. I want them to hate me.
So yeah, man. Let's jump into it though. Black Cats and Crows, the album you worked on, and I don't think it's a secret, man. You went through through a pretty rough patch there writing this album. Is that how much of this was actually?
Well, I'm about to bust your bubble, pal. Actually, most of that, none of that. I mean, the songs that are about that are songs that I wrote about other wives.
Yeah, I got it.
Man, a lot of most of this record. I mean, some of it, Black Cats and Crows, Threads, those, I think those two I wrote during the wake of everything.
Yeah.
Sound of Chains I wrote during the wake of all that. But, like, I wrote Sound of Chains and a song that was on my Asunder EP, Could Just Be a Fool, like in the same week.
Yeah.
We, maybe the same day, I can't remember, but, like, a lot of those songs, man, are old songs. Like, some of them are 16, 17 years old at this point.
Okay. Wow.
Haven't Had a Hand in This, Good to Say Goodbye. Those songs are ancient.
I got
at least 14, 15 years old. And then, Ain't Gonna Be Today, probably the same. It's a lot of these are just songs that I wrote a long time ago that got ran through Nashville and nobody wanted. So I hate to just, the line in 15 years, no one will ever hear these songs again.
Right.
I wrote them. I'm proud of them. I want to put them out. I don't care if they're old. They're new to everybody else, and I've still got some that I haven't done that I'm going to put out. So.
Sometimes we've talked about artists on here before, and it's kind of cool that you mentioned that because a lot of times when artists finally hit the mainstream, which I mean you didn't have that body of work, so. But re-releasing "Good and Drunk" was I loved you putting it back on this record. But so many times, like guys,
that was.
I mean, guys will put out 2, 3, 4 records, and people don't know them. Then they hit the mainstream for whatever reason, and they're putting out shit that's nowhere near as good as the original stuff. And you think, man, I really wish they could re-release some of this stuff where you become fans of them initially. But
I think that. That happens a lot when people get success, man. They look around and they want more of it. And look who's who's making more money than I am. Oh, well, that guy that's doing this kind of shit. Well, I'll start doing this kind of shit and I'll make more money. And it's kind of this, on my level, it's just like, you know, I'm so old and it's so hard to change what I do in the first place. I have to look at it like, man, I do this and it works, so I'll change it. Don't write the same song over and over, but write the same. You know, I like to think that I write songs about, you know, real life shit. And, you know, as long as I'm writing about real life shit, I think people will, you know, everybody goes through real life shit. So to work it out, I hope.
I can't say I'm not disappointed. I still want to get into the Jackson County stuff here in a little bit, but I can't say that, you know, now that you're here and you see all what's going on here in this community, I can't believe track 15 wasn't about fireball and back roads and a big ass Chevy truck, but, you know, apparently there's enough.
Well, man, they do that in Arkansas too.
Apparently there's enough songs
out here, man.
I'm sorry.
No, I just said I love it out here, man. I love Jackson County.
Well, you know, and that's like we can bounce around however. I still want to talk plenty about the record, but like some of the people, and that's the thing about you being here. Jason Lynn, Cole Maynard, a couple people here, listeners had sent the question in. So to start with, where we do the podcast here, and we've interviewed, you know, Morning Star and Edie and, you know, some guys. That's the first thing. Hey, man, Ward Davis is in Gainesboro now. You need to interview him for the podcast. We'd love to hear his story or, you know, or whatever. Then, hey, man, Ward's here. So it went on forever, right? Like months and months. And I get out pretty regularly in Gainesboro, so I thought, yeah, Ward Davis is not living in Gainesboro. You know, but every time I see...
I didn't...
Huh?
I lived here for probably at least a year and a half before I went anywhere, man. I mean, when I was home, it was just me and the kids, and you know, I take them to Cookeville now and then and Carthage. But man, I just, in general, you know, I didn't go out. I didn't really know anybody for a year and a half, 2 years.
Well, there's not a lot going on. It's getting bigger now than it's been. You know, they've got some businesses down there, and the places. But yeah, people would say, "Hey, man, I saw Ward Davis at the dollar store. I saw Ward Davis at the antique store." And I'm like, "Man, Ward Davis is not in Gainesboro." But then finally, I commented on a video of yours where you're like, "I'm sitting on my back porch or front porch, whatever, in Gainesboro," and I said, "Shit, he is here. You know, he does live here." And so that's when I commented on you, and that's when I started talking to your management about doing possibly a future show. And so run into you. There, you know, been a couple months now, and we started setting up this up slowly but surely. But I mean, how does one get to Jackson County? Were you just that damn burnt out, and you just because I kind of live in the middle?
No, man, it was all financial decisions. I got divorced, and I had to find a cheap place to live, and I didn't want to get an apartment. And this place popped up on Zillow or something, and I called, and it was this old man and lady, and man, I came down here, and the price was right. And I, you know, bought it, and it was fully furnished. I mean, there was a John Deere lawnmower in the garage, so
damn.
You know, it was perfect for getting divorced. So I moved out here, and we're looking at getting a bigger place now, but I'm going to have to sell this one. But we are, we're staying in Jackson County for sure. We decided we like it here.
That's awesome. What was the factors? I mean, what's some things that you like? Just little town, just coming from a little town, you can relate to it.
I live, I live, you know, 500 yards from the lake. You know, I can go to the bar on a, you know, Thursday night, and I'll see somebody that I know that I've met. You know, it's not like. Man, I grew up in a small town in Arkansas and then moved to Nashville. I mean, it was real exciting for a long time to live in town and, you know, be close to it all. But dude, the older you get, like, I don't like traffic. I don't like noise. I don't like, you know, I go out every weekend and I spend my nights with, you know, sometimes hundreds of people, you know, just playing music for them. And it's loud and it's hard on you. And when you get home, you want to be somewhere quiet, somewhere safe. And man, I mean, like Jackson County's cornered the market on quiet and safe. So, man, I just love it. It's beautiful. I mean, I love mountains. I love hills. I love hardwood trees. I just love it out here.
Yeah, I think a couple of things that. You know, to see how much you've adjusted to life here. When we met there a few weeks ago and had lunch and talked about this, and talked about a show. I kind of laugh because a lot of people complain about the tavern's prices. Man, I ain't going down there and spend $15 for a burger, but I guess where you're on the road so much, I kind of laughed. You and Natalie got your check and was like, damn, it's so cheap here. You know, the rest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm busting their balls all the time. Like, I'm not coming there and spending $15 for a burger anymore, Turner. This is horse shit. You know, and you're like, oh, this is kind of cheap. And then,
man, we don't. I mean, we go out some. You know, we come down there and drink bars, or drink beer at the tavern, but we're not really go out. Or we got these kids so often,
Right.
man. And usually when I'm home, I've got the kids, so it's just hard to do anything. But you know, every now and then, including this weekend, we've only got one of them, and we've got a sitter, and everything's gonna be good. So looking forward to coming out.
big Super Bowl plans.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my show.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't, man. I'm like I've never. I just don't care about sports. Never have.
Preach, brother.
Yeah, Lucas hates them. He don't give a shit. We interviewed one.
I had no fucking clue that the Super Bowl was even happening.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so alluding to that, playing the Bull and Thistle. This, like I said, still want to get back to the record a little bit more. I guess more questions, but Bull and Thistle. Both shows sold out now. Both the February 7th and February 14th, Valentine's Day. So you just cornered both markets.
I think there were like 2 4-seat tables left on the 7th. Last time I looked, they may be gone now. I can't. But that was like 2 days ago, so I don't know.
Yeah, so you're hoping nobody gives a shit about football for this weekend.
No, I mean, shit, they've already bought their tickets.
Yeah. I was almost one of those dumbasses. It popped up. I was sitting with Jeff and Shannon Johnson at our kids' JV game, basketball game, and it popped up on Facebook. And I screenshot it to a few friends of mine who I thought might be interested in buying tickets. And I had the 7th in my cart and sent it to my buddies, and they said, "That's a Super Bowl, dumbass." And I said, "Oh, all right. Well, I guess it mattered to some people."
Yeah, it's what it is. Yeah.
No,
Valentine's Day is a good one.
I watched a YouTube video about the Super Bowl this week, and it was when Prince did the halftime show. That's the only thing about the Super Bowl I've seen in years. And that was an amazing halftime show too when Prince was out there playing.
Yeah, I always watch the Puppy Bowl.
So I text you that later that night. We were at the game. I said, "Well, being the romantic guy that I am, I'm treating my wife to your show on Valentine's Day." And you said, "Man, you're going to have to do better than that." Hey, go ahead.
No, man, I hate to jump off of here, but man, I've got a little baby that she broke her leg, and my wife needs help giving her a bath before we put her to bed.
Go for it.
She's looking at me. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. We had some pretty funny rapid fire. We'll get to those another time, maybe.
No, man. I mean, if we can get done here in the next 5 or so minutes, I think we'll be all right.
Okay, cool. We'll knock them out then. Just an artist we'd be surprised that you're into.
Gosh.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Let me answer that for you. Oh man, I'm pretty predictable. Really like Tupac.
Yeah, right.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Justin Wells' answer was Boys to Men when we done him on this show.
Yeah.
How long do you think you'll have to live in Jackson County to be on the level of Davo?
I mean, I'd have to die and be reincarnated in Jackson County and live another lifetime. Davo around here.
He's put 50 years in, man. He's a national treasure, like I said on that post about us. That picture I posted of all 3 of us. You'd have to remove one of these. Garth Brooks. I know you was a Garth Brooks fan as a youngster. Garth Brooks, Johnny Cash, or George Jones, Hank Williams Jr. Like one can't exist.
What kind of a question?
He does this.
If I had one of those that couldn't exist.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Again, Garth, Johnny Cash,
George Jones and Hank Jr.
I hate to say it, Hank Jr.
Preach,
God
brother.
Dang it,
Preach.
Ward. All right.
Preach.
Hey, actually, the fifth option was that yesterday was Morgan Wallen, but he removed himself. So,
yeah, oh no, I'd never take him off my list.
oh man, you more in Texas country scene or the Kentucky country? All the music coming out of Kentucky right now.
Yeah, Kentucky. I think as a whole, Kentucky for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I agree with that. We like to do this one, and man, you don't have to answer. It's just a weird ass question we like to ask completely heterosexual men about a weird F, marry, kill. You've probably played these with your buddies, haven't you?
Say that one more time.
You ever heard the game F, marry, kill?
Yeah.
Well, so we like to.
And before you even ask it, don't feel like you have to answer.
No,
but
people who don't have sense of humor, I wouldn't want to ask it. But I feel like you're a good sport, and me and Lucas do these with a lot of people on here, and make them awkward as shit. So Cody Jinks, Josh Morningstar, and Paul Cawthorn. Which one you killing first?
Who would I marry? Who would I fuck? And who would I kill? Can I kill all three of them?
Yeah,
Yep.
You can. That's a perfectly acceptable
answer. Yeah. All right, man. Listen, we won't keep you. I know you got that baby to take care of, so I just appreciate you.
That's kind of it's an ordeal to give a baby in a cast a bath.
Yeah.
That way,
so I know you're proud, man. Black Cats and Crows, 2020 release, SavingCountryMusic.com's album of the year. So we'll talk about it some more off the air. How good of an honor was that, first and foremost, to get that nod from Trigger?
Oh man, that's pretty cool. I guess I didn't really make that right. I want everybody to like it. Obviously, I don't want to. I want it to be good. I want to be proud of it. I'm always excited when somebody else likes it. Has something nice to say. So that's really cool, man. It helped. For sure.
Yeah, I actually heard "Ain't Gonna Be Today" on the radio locally the other day in Cookeville. So it was pretty neat.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, 94.7 was playing. So, well, hey, plug anything you want to plug. Like if you want to plug the shows, your social media, and we'll get you out of here.
Yeah, man, I'm on WardDavisMusic.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Get my music on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, any of the regular outlets.
All right, man. We appreciate your time, and I'm sure I'll might see you out here, if not in a day or two, by the show on the 14th. So.
Awesome, buddy. I'll see you there, man. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
all right. There you go.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview. We had, you never really know when you have someone on your podcast, just how long. Me and Ward didn't talk about how long of interviews, so we kind of bounced around, and maybe we'll get him back on here another one of these days. But I can't stress enough just how damn good that record is. That's like I said, we started listening to him 5-6 years ago when, about this, like I said, when he started touring with Cody a little bit, started seeing him on those shows. But, with every album that you listen to, whether it's got 10 songs or 14 like this one, you anticipate there's going to be a dud in there somewhere, right?
Right.
But, I mean, I have no reason to lie to Ward Davis unless he's going to pay my house payment. Like
I don't think he's going to.
He's not, so I'm going to tell the straight up truth. There ain't a damn bad song on this record. And, like I said, Ain't Gonna Be Today is the opening track, which was just playing on 94.7 the other day. And Jason Lynn sent me that picture, and I've since heard it. And that was co-written by Kendall Marvel, who kind of has a similar path as to what Ward has. He wrote songs for a while, that he started doing kind of his own thing in the last handful of years. And the title track, Black Cats and Crows, is a good one. Threads. Like I said, these songs that he wrote, number 4, Sound of Chains, is really, really interesting. He was telling me about this the other night when I seen him, because I asked about Scott Ian being on from Anthrax.
Right.
And so basically, they had his wife was singing harmony on it, and so he's like, "Well, hey, while Scott's got it, just let him play guitar on it. So
Right.
that was my early favorite, just because it's different. It's got a pretty traditional country sound overall. Then you throw in this kind of rocked up, song about murdering a cheating wife. I mean,
Right.
man, it's a damn good one. Then Get to Work Whiskey, it's kind of just a fun song.
Right.
I mean, Get to Work Whiskey, it's a pretty self-explanatory title.
What do you want your whiskey to do? Get to work.
Get to work. Fuck me up, Jack.
That's all you need. That's what we're shooting for.
Fuck me up. What say you, Jack? Colorado, which is just kind of like, he co-wrote that with Cody Jinks. Now, that's the one thing I did want to ask him. Of all the songs he had written, what his favorite one he's written for Cody? He's co-written several. Can't Quit Enough, Colorado, Big Last Name, I'm Not the Devil. What is it? You think that's just like, look, Cody, I can do this shit better than you on this one?
Maybe it's I can do this too.
No, I'm just.
I can do that too.
I'm just kidding. That's what I was hoping to ask him, just kind of mess with him. But, it's just a beautiful version of that. Honestly, Book of Matches, Heaven Had a Hand, Where I Learned to Live, and just Papa and Mama. So I knew his Garth influence, and I thought he wrote that. Actually, Ray Scott wrote that, and Ray Scott got into his bag of shit right there when he wrote Papa and Mama. It's just you thought Garth Brooks' version of Papa Loved Mama when Mama was out creeping.
Uh-huh.
This is another. It's like next level. This is like the 2021 version of that one. Lady Down on Love, an Alabama cover. Nobody, Good to Say Goodbye. It's just and Good and Drunk. Like I said, previously released on 2018 EP Asunder, and it's just country music, and it's you can call it outlaw country, you can call it Americana, but just when it comes down to it, this is a country record.
Right.
This is what country music is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, for the people who don't know Ward Davis before this, which is there's still some people out there that sleeping on Ward Davis. This the album, you just go grab that thing, like we said, wherever you find your music, and my wife bought the vinyl for me for my birthday, and it's not coming on my record player.
Right.
It's when I go out there and listen to spin a record, that's the one it's on. So
was the Mill and Mine? Was that the name of the place we went to?
That was it.
That's it, wasn't it?
Man, and I found a picture of me and Ward back from that because he came out and mingled with the crowd a little bit. Him and Coulter Wall both come out and mingled, and I just, oof. You let me get down that night.
I didn't let you do anything.
I'm a grown-ass man.
You're a grown-ass man. You do whatever you want to do.
I was so excited to finally see Ward Davis and Cody Jinks, and couldn't tell you a song. They could have done The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round.
They did do that one. They covered that one while they were there. That's a really nice place. The Mill and Mine's a really nice place to have a concert.
It kind of reminded me. Remember when we used to go to City Hall in Nashville?
No.
That was back when you showed out, wasn't it?
I know when you're talking about. We saw
Shooter there. I just like those. It's kind of like marathon music or anything that's got an open floor where you can just standing room only.
I've only been to either one of them once, so it's I didn't really have a time where I was going to them.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, man, check out that record. Like he said, this will be released on Friday morning. Do you get it out tonight or not?
Yeah, I probably could.
Okay, so this is a Friday, February the 5th when you'll be listening to this, or Thursday, whatever date. Either way, you still got time.
You're going to listen to it.
You're going to listen to it. Yeah. And he's like he mentioned, there's a couple tabletops left for the Bull and Thistle, Gainesboro, Tennessee, acoustic set. That's on Sunday. So if you don't care about the Super Bowl, I would have picked Ward Davis over the Super Bowl. Had there been only one date there, I would have went because the Titans aren't there, especially.
Right.
I don't give a shit enough about the Bucks versus the Chiefs to have missed Ward Davis in Gainesboro.
So, is Tom Brady in the Super Bowl?
Is he not always? It's kind of his thing, right?
Mm-hmm. And then Patrick Mahomes.
I like how somebody the other day, they said, and Patrick Mahomes. Somebody's like, use that same. They were bragging on Brady on Twitter, and somebody said, use that same energy when y'all talk about LeBron James, because everybody gets hated on for LeBron James. And I love this one guy. I don't remember who tweeted. He's like, well, you're an idiot. I hate both of them.
All right.
So, which is most of a lot of people. So, I don't care. I would have actually went to the Bull over the Super Bowl probably, but luckily I got tickets for the 14th. And man, it's gonna be a hell of a weekend in Gainesboro. You got Rye Davis and Brandon Martin playing the Doe Creek Tavern of Barry and Jeanette Gores on Saturday, February 13th. Then turn around the next night and you got Ward Davis playing a 3-hour acoustic set at the Bull and Thistle.
That's pretty big.
That's a big deal.
That's big.
It's a big weekend, man.
Yeah.
So
those are big names for down there.
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So
all right,
listen,
everybody.
guys, if you enjoyed it, go back and listen to some more episodes. We're just two boneheads who like to talk.
Interview people sometimes.
Yeah, and last week we had an episode about
an infuriating list of phrases that needs to go away.
You know, if you hate when people say adulting or I did a thing today, you know,
listen to last week.
Listen to last week because we
there's a couple back that's got some terrible dad jokes in it too.
We don't. Yeah, that's not. It's not at our finest.
It's not. It's literally terrible.
Yeah. So Charles Barkley level terrible. So, but no, I caught some shit from the girls at work.
For
the girls that I said, the two 20-year-olds who actually say half that list. She came over to my desk with the other girl the other day. I said, we feel personally attacked. That list. I said, well, here's the thing. Grow up and stop talking like that.
Yeah, here's the thing. Maybe you are.
I didn't say that to her.
No.
I said, you're 25. You can talk like that, but we're 37.
We shouldn't.
Say. So anyway, all right, guys, listen. And for the first time, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And go check out Ward Davis.
All right. See you, everybody.